how's everyone doing today? We're going to be talking about Joe Burrow versus Justin Herbert. If you're watching me wear the same outfit, I'm just recording a bunch of videos so I can get them out over the weekend. I'm going on a quick little vacation, so content's not going to be able to be posted as often as I'd like to. I try to do as many videos as I can, daily videos if possible, but you know, sometimes you got to go see family. Family always comes first. But with that being said, let's get right into the video as I will be talking about Joe Burrow versus Justin Herbert. Who would I rather start my team with? Not really who is better, top 5, or who would be higher on my rankings, because it's hard to tell right now because the sample size isn't as big as I would like, as we have one player who had a torn ACL and the other one didn't even get to start the full rookie year. And obviously Justin Herbert has fantastic stats. I mean, the dude has 69 touchdowns through 2 seasons, no playoff performances, and we're watching Joe Burrow flourish right now, and recency bias would probably tell you that I would pick Joe Burrow. And I will get into my reasonings on who I would pick and why, but I just kind of want to set why the criteria that I set for picking a quarterback, because the question that is going to be answered today is, who would you rather start your season with? Who would you rather start your franchise with? Who would be your leader in your locker room? Who is the number one guy, the first pick? You have all the picks. And I'll say Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and like Kyler Murray are off the board, and these are your 2 best options. Who do you pick? I know a lot of people would pick Justin Herbert. With that being said, I would probably pick Joe Burrow. And I'm not saying there's a massive difference. I have honestly gone back and forth. When making this video script, I have gone back and forth with which side I would rather take, because Justin Herbert's talent is just, his gravity is just ridiculous. I believe that Joe Burrow is a better leader. I think his intangibles are just far and above what Justin Herbert has, and I think he elevates his teammates more. And I think Joe Burrow has done more with less than Justin Herbert has. And I understand the Chargers roster is constructed very top heavy. They don't have a run defense. There's a lot of things that are out of Justin Herbert's control, that he can only do so much on the football field. I mean, we saw that with the Raiders game. But there's also times where he doesn't get blamed, games in previous weeks that he should have won or should have played better and up to the standards, as you can't lose to the Texans, you can't lose to the Ravens in a really big time blowout, not to mention there's a Vikings loss. There's just games that the Chargers shouldn't lose, but they do. It puts them in a play-in position where they have to play the Raiders perfectly, and it's a tie if they get in. And in my opinion, I do think the Raiders kick that field goal no matter what. No matter if they get that first down or what, they would have at least attempted it, because they would have to either play the Chiefs or the Bengals. And obviously, they lost to the Bengals, but I would rather play the Bengals tenfold over the playoffs Chiefs in any situation. With that being said, though, I will admit that Justin Herbert is a fantastic quarterback, and I think the best comparison between the two is a Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady debate, and that's a heated debate in of itself, and I think it's 1A, 1B, especially when it comes to Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, 1A, 1B type of situation. And if I am, with what my values are for a quarterback and what I like to see in a quarterback, I like Joe Burrow a lot more. I think he spreads the ball more. I understand he throws the ball to Jamar Chase a lot, and Jamar Chase has absolutely changed this team. He's still throwing the ball. He's making beautiful throws, and he has improved every year that he has played football and not been injured. His college senior year, he had probably the best collegiate season of all time as a quarterback. Rookie year, he showed flashes, but he got injured. And even with a relatively below average Bengals offensive line, and the Chargers isn't that much better of an offensive line, but you have Corey Linsley and Rashawn Slater. I think the Chargers offensive line is not significantly better, but better than the Bengals offensive line. Joe Burrow has just done more with the weapons that he has. Now, T. Higgins is a good weapon. I would also say Tyler Boyd, and obviously Jamar Chase is an all-pro talent. Joe Mixon is great. But let's not act like the Chargers don't have Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. We have a lot of talent on both sides, and this is why I feel like if you want to actually have this debate, we almost have to wait in another year. We need a bigger sample size between the two, as we see. I take the rookie year. I don't blame them for not making the playoffs. Obviously, Joe Burrow gets injured. They have one of the worst records. They have, I think, the number 5 pick or something like that, while the Chargers didn't start Justin Herbert till later in the season. But this year was the year that it was a perfect comparison to see between the two, as we look at their careers and really a projection of what they could be. And Justin Herbert has all the talent in the world. He can make any throw on the field. He can move around. He can move off balance and make plays out of himself. Doesn't always equate to wins, and he kind of has that Aaron Rodgers effect of when they lose, it's like 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, or 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and it's just not up to the standard that he needs to be at, where I feel that Joe Burrow's statistical high of 3 or 4 touchdowns is there, but it's more consistently like 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, or 1 touchdown and 0 picks, but it's a win. He overall elevates his team more than Justin Herbert elevates the Chargers. The depth issue with the Chargers is partially because I don't think Justin Herbert trusts the other talent on his team, while I think Joe Burrow spreads the ball around more. I think CJ Uzomah is one of the most underrated tight ends because of Joe Burrow and being able to put the ball in the perfect spots for Uzomah to make plays. Honestly, it's tough to win in Cincinnati. It is so tough to win in Cincinnati. They don't have an indoor facility. They don't have the front office that the Chargers do. Now, I'm not saying the Chargers have a perfect thing. When I'm comparing these two, I'm not saying that it's this much of a difference. But with that being said, I do think in Cincinnati, it's harder to win versus the LA Chargers. You have a new stadium. You're living in LA. Life is a lot easier when you're a part of the Chargers versus the Bengals, who haven't won a playoff game in 31 years. And guess who won a playoff game for the first time in 31 years is Joe Burrow. It's so impressive to see a quarterback do so much more with less. And I value that more. If you don't value that more and you value the talent, that's on you, and that is, I respect your decision. I'm not saying you're dumb for picking Justin Herbert. I'm not saying you're wrong for picking Justin Herbert, but I'm just explaining why I would pick Joe Burrow over Justin Herbert and defend my take, because I do believe that his intangibles, and he can make plenty of throws just as much as Justin Herbert. He has a farther yard per attempt than Justin Herbert by like 0.4. So it's not like Joe Burrow is just checking down. He has a higher completion percentage, a higher passer rating than Justin Herbert. It's not that these statistics are just 1 and 2. I think it's way closer than people realize. And especially if Joe Burrow loses to the Titans, I would still pick him because he has impressed me that much this year. Because I don't believe Zach Taylor's that great of a head coach. I also don't believe Brandon Staley's that great of a head coach. I'm just very interested to see who would you pick. I know I have a bunch of Chargers fans that hate me for this. I just want y'all to know that I do not hate Justin Herbert. I want to make that very clear. He's one of the most entertaining quarterbacks in the entire NFL. But I just want to show some love to Joe Burrow, man. I think I said in a previous video that he's top 5. I want to revise that. I don't think he's top 5. But I do think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, best young quarterbacks in the NFL. I think he has some great footing in a debate between Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. And with that being said, have a wonderful day. I'm trying to post as much as I can. Thank you so much for watching. And who would you pick between the two if you were to start your franchise with? And have a wonderful day.